We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Good morning. Welcome to the Couples Academy Ask the Experts show. I'm here. I'm Jeff Witt, and I'm joined by Walter and Lakeisha. If you guys just want to say hi real quick.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Happy Friday, you guys.
Happy Friday. Every day's Friday.
For you, Jeff. For you.
I'm getting there. I'm having very few Fridays. I'm eliminating my Mondays. I got a lot of Thursdays though.
Right.
I know what you mean. Listen, everybody, I need you to go on and get in here. I do see a couple questions. I do see a couple comments and some things people I want to acknowledge. But before we do that, I want to give you a chance to go on and load up your questions. Let's get it in. Whatever's pressing on your mind, this is the time to ask. Some things require surgery. We won't be able to answer everything right here in 5 seconds. But at the same time, it's good to get the conversation going. So let's go on and do that. I'm going to go on and show just a little bit. We got Last Chance Weekend coming up. You can still get in. We still got a few slots open. It starts on Friday.
14.
Friday,
Yep. And so let's go on and get this in, guys. If you are sitting in a place in your relationship right now where you realize, like, man, we got to do something. We can't continue like this. I'm telling you, Last Chance Weekend is an experience that will shift your perspective on your marriage and give you the tools that you need to start a process of healing. And, it's about 8 months worth of counseling in one weekend. And so that's really all I can say. So I'm going to go on and give you a little bit about that. Okay. Well, we'll start with a different commercial. Hold on one second.
If you're a man and you have a pulse, then you need to join this program. You're a husband, you're a father, you're a leader. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have to be everything for everyone, but do you know who and how to be for you? You're still in search of your own significance. You're in internal battle with your own vices. You're questioning, do I even know what it means to be a man? I know I'm supposed to be there for others, but what about me? The fact is, you need a model. You need a code to live by, a system of principles to govern your life. You need an internal compass to guide your every decision. You need the 4 securities to build your own kingdom. What you need is the Foundry. In short, a foundry is a facility where castings are produced by melting metal, pouring liquid metal into a mold, and then allowing it to solidify. Well, this is where we're testing the metal of men. Foundry is a 12-week men's-only coaching program. It is a brotherhood that will take each man through a purification process of the heart, mind, and soul. We here at Couples Academy promise you that if you give us 12 weeks of your life, you will no longer recognize it. If you care about the improving of your life, your marriage, and your family, register today.
Where are we at? Hello, people. Give me 1 second. I don't know what happened here. There's no. There it is. Oh, there we are. So we're back. So we do have a couple questions and comments in here, but I want to acknowledge Jaguar Rose. Thank you for your donation. I definitely want to get in contact with us and talk to us about the intensive. Reach out to Asani, definitely, because we always have a way to make things happen, and we work with people. We're not just here to do things willy-nilly. When you want to come out and do one of the intensives, there's always a way to get it done. So let's talk to him about that and reach out. But Lakeisha, this is what you're good at, calling out the people and
yes.
So,
Jaguar, thank you so much, sis, for your donation and you saying how much you appreciate the show and all of the work that we do. We appreciate that. We're not doing it for accolades or for fame. We're not doing it for that reason. We really care about each and every one of you and just want you guys to live your purpose-driven life and to have all of the wonderful things that God has for you. Vashawn, good morning. Hey, Shalise. Hi, Marshawn, Lisa, TT, Cass, Corbin, Amanda, Scully Bike, Jackie. Oh, is that Marilyn? I think Darren Gonzalez, Team Smith in the house. Hey, Jules, DFLO, JJ, Rick, Trevor, and Sandy, Charles, Beltran, Debbie. So nice to see you guys. Thank you for joining us.
all right, I think we got a couple questions here.
Mhm.
So I see Shalise here has she's coming in from New Jersey, Hackettstown. Hassani spoke of putting one's spouse in a prison of his past and being blind to the work being done to improve. That is why I'm in my head and I don't want to be there anymore. Part one. Part two is he has joined the Foundry and is doing the work. But the latest hurt was just 6 days ago. I can't stop replaying everything in my head. How do I stop the hurt so that I can see him in the now? Okay. So did you guys want to start with one thing? I have something, but you know.
Well, I had a question for you, Jeff, because sometimes I end up working with the wives while the husbands are being tortured by you. So I just wondered if and he's like, yes, exactly.
Yep.
So I just wondered if you see this as a pattern that the spouses often are feeling kind of left out.
What's going on? Yeah, and you have to understand, I'm real intense. I think Walter could testify that if he saw what I posted to these guys this morning. I kind of blow up their spots all the time. Literally rolled a grenade in the room. And they're getting shock value for most of the first part of Foundry. And so I want you to think of this as we're going in some really rough soil that's been hardened over time. And we're trying to dig that up, and then we're trying to put in good soil. And then by the end of the program, we're planting good seeds in good soil because the ground has been tilled. And I think what a lot of the expectations that the wives have is that we starting out with fertile soil and they should see a sprout within a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. No. We are digging deep, ripping out all the junk, calling them out on their BS. And they're like this the whole time. Because they never know when I'm going to explode, and I do that for effect. It's all out of care and love. Like sometimes they choose business books, and I don't mind them choosing a business book off the list if they're looking at it from the perspective of, hey, what works in business will work in my marriage. The things it takes to create connection and community with a company are the same things that I need to do at home as well. And sometimes they don't get that lens. And so sometimes they'll see them reading business books like, how is this helping my marriage? Well, I have a book that I tell these guys to read called Pitch Anything. And the truth of the matter is this guy's talking about doing $20 million deals in the book. But if you read deeper, they're talking about the psychology and the frameworks that happen when we feel threatened, when we feel scared, and how we lock down and how we lose in creating relationships with people. And how that seizes us up. And sometimes we're trying to have logical conversations with our spouse, and we don't realize that there's these walls up, and it teaches you how to bring these walls down. Unfortunately, I've never seen a book that does it better than this business book. And I use Pitch Anything because anytime I need my wife to participate with me, I have to communicate in a way that sees it from her perspective, from her frame and point of view. And then I can use my frame. And a lot of times they're battling because they want you to see it their way. And they're telling you, we have to disassemble all that. And the 30 or 40 or 50 years that your husband has been walking around with all this damage that was never dealt with, that he brought into the marriage, the acting that he did to get you on his side, you're not realizing sometimes that there's some childhood hurt that they've been shoveling under the rug that they've never been able to articulate. And maybe they've articulated it, but they haven't dealt with it. And so we got to dig that up first. Then we put in fertile soil. Then we plant the seeds. And these books are tilling the soil. These processes that we're going through are tilling the soil. So they might seem a little distracted, but I kind of want you to, I'm not making any excuse for their improper behavior, but I will say this. If you feel a little bit of distance, but you see them doing the work, trust the process.
And I wanted to chime in real quick, Keisha. I know that obviously you definitely need to chime in, but I just wanted to say really quick, Shalise, thank you for recognizing that you're having a challenge with the process, because oftentimes what will happen is that spouses will not recognize that, and now they're undoing a lot of the work that Jeff is talking about, and they are a hindrance to the growth that needs to happen. So thank you for recognizing your role in the process. And what I would challenge you is that you talked about how do you stop the hurt so you can see him in the now. The hurt is going to persist. The better question is, how do you not allow your hurt to undermine the process? And so part of that is making sure you are adamant in your journey of self-improvement.
Absolutely.
What books are you reading? What things are you doing? So while he's on his journey and quest, you need to be on a journey and quest as well, and figuring out exactly what that is.
That's absolutely right. Go ahead, Lakeisha.
Sometimes as the betrayed spouse, also, you are looking for changes in them to confirm your decision to stay. And you do want to look at their behavior for sure, but is the hurt coming from a place of unrealistic expectations? Mm-hmm. Is the hurt coming from a place of a lack of forgiveness?
Absolutely.
Like, where is it coming from? You got to identify that. And that might help you, because if you have expectations of your husband right now that are not realistic, you're going to continue to be hurt, because he's going to continue to let you down because the expectations are not in the right place. So you got to look at some of that, because it could be nothing related to him. You're saying you're in your head. You've identified the fact that you're in your head and you don't want to be there anymore. So that is saying to me that you're probably having some expectations that are not necessarily realistic, and you got to shift that and realign it so that you're not being disappointed, which leads to the hurt.
Absolutely. The process of transformation is very real. And
it's painful.
It is painful because you're actually shifting and changing who you are as a person. So I want you to understand that you, as a person who's been hurt, has a transformation process to go through, so that you, regardless of the situations, the circumstances, experiences in life, you can be a much stronger person should they present themselves, and make better decisions should they present themselves again, because that's always a real possibility. Living in the fear of it won't change the possibility of it.
Yes.
And in that transformation process, both of you are going to have these, you're basically you're walking like a little hurt caterpillar. He's walking around like a jerk caterpillar in this particular situation. And these caterpillars are all legs. They're all legs. But what happens is that caterpillar goes off on his own, puts a cocoon around themselves, and goes in the quietness of their mind and does some work. And in that process, they're getting rid of the hundreds of legs that they have, and moving those to 6 weaker legs that they're just using to land. And they start taking all of that transformation of all those legs and putting them in to build wings. And that's a process.
Nice.
And now I want you to understand one of the things about butterflies. When a butterfly is coming out of the cocoon, there's a tendency for people who are observing that to want to push or pull away the cocoon and let that butterfly come out. But what you don't realize is that there's a lot of pus that builds up in those wings. And the squeezing out process for the butterfly, it forcing itself out of the cocoon on its own is what actually gets the fluid out of those wings and makes them able to fly. If you rip away the cocoon before it's ready to fly, it will never learn to fly. It will fall and it will die. So just think about that as you're interacting. And the best thing for you to do is not focus on him as much in this process, but focus on building your own cocoon and doing your own work to become that stronger person that no matter what life throws at you, you're a survivor. And no matter what decision you may be forced to make, good or bad, you're a survivor, and that you can't let those wounds become as deep. That doesn't mean be hostile and aggressive. It means become a better version of yourself.
That's good, Jeff.
All right, let's go. Who's got something else?
Trevor. He says his wife cheated on him. We got married 2 months ago. We need help. We are from Africa, Zimbabwe. Please, Trevor, reach out. Make that discovery call. Contact Hassani. Let's get you on board. This is fresh and it's early. It was only 2 months ago. And so listen, the sooner you get in and get support, the better.
We got WhatsApp.
Literally, we find couples all the time that have waited too long to reach out and get help. Doesn't mean we can't help them, but it means that that process takes so much longer because it's just been layers upon layers of hurt and pain because it hasn't been addressed and dealt with properly. So this is early, it's fresh. You can get it right the first time. Reach out.
And it doesn't matter that you're halfway.
Yeah, and I was just going to read. I was just going to as far as what Keisha's point, it's really important that you reach out ASAP, because if you all just got married 2 months ago, this is a foundational problem within your relationship. And so because it's early on, now's the time to address it. When you're building a building, like this is the part where you can go in and actually fix it before you get people moved in and you start going up as far as with years in the relationship. So it's very important that you reach out and get this fixed right now.
In the early days, I used to watch Hassani get on a plane and do this. I watched him go to South Africa. I watched him go to Nigeria. I watched him do a couple in Transylvania. We're sitting there doing video calls, and he's literally in Transylvania and Romania. And so there is those options, but I want you to know, basically, because you're able to watch this show, that means we can do it virtual as well. And so reach out. Don't let distance or the fact that you're in Zimbabwe keep us apart. The world right now is connected by a button, and you can get anywhere in the world you want with just one click. So just pick up some WhatsApp. The phone number works in WhatsApp. Reach out that way. If you want to do a text or make a call, doesn't matter. And then we'll get in touch with you and we'll be able to take it from there. And you can go on the website, couplesacademy.org, like, share, subscribe, and you can even schedule the appointment right there, a 15-minute. And we work with time zones. We understand that you're halfway across the planet. You know, I still did my Foundry session when I was in Dubai. So I was in Dubai on my anniversary with my wife, and she completely understood because we're in a place to do that. We make time for this. We care about this. We don't let, the things that would normally go, well, I'm not doing that. We make time for you guys. So you got to reach out. Okay.
Awesome. Really interesting one from Amanda. Amanda says, I decided to reach out to the other woman. Apparently her husband had an affair with, and tell her I forgave her part in the short affair. Her and I had a long, over an hour phone call, all very civil and honest. Is it weird we are friendly now? We kind of understand each other's part. Should I cut off all contact, or is it okay to continue talking? She's showing complete remorse and knows all that they told each other were built on lies.
Yes, cut it off. It's unhealthy. It's not appropriate. And
the first conversation was okay.
The first conversation was cool. I was with you on that one. But to continue communicating, absolutely not. Let me tell you, I have been working with couples who ended up in threesomes and thruples and situationships because of this.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that you will, because I don't even know that you like women or not, but it can be an emotional affair that you can have with his affair partner.
Yes.
It's messy, it's unhealthy. Absolutely cut it off.
Wow. Yep, and she's absolutely right on that. Like, you want to definitely cut it off. We do have to get to another quick commercial, and we'll be right back. Hold on one second.
Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
All right, we're back. Do we have somebody else that has a question?
Yes, we do. Beautiful Truth says, my husband needs respect, meaning don't disagree with him and obey him. I try to show him respect as best as I can. I know he needs counseling due to neglect in childhood, but refuses to go. Help.
Yeah. We get a lot of men that refuse counseling. And the thing that I can say is, first of all, respect doesn't mean obey. Like, it doesn't mean that domineering, obeying. There's an obedience part of being in a relationship, period. But respect doesn't necessarily. Respect is a man's love language, first of all. Most men are ways to where you want to show them that you love them. Respect is one of the best ways to show that you love a person. But if he's not dealing with his issues, right? Because when we look at the word respect, we have two parts. Re, which means to go back. Spect, which deals with spectacle, spectacular, taking a look at. You want me to go back and take a look at you. Well, I can't respect someone who hasn't changed because I'm looking at the same exact thing. That's what the word means, to go back and take a second look. I'm different now. Respect me. I'm not the little kid I was. I'm not the immature person I was. Respect, to go back and take a look at again. I want to respect you, but I need you to change. And that's a conversation that you can have. And then I'm going to tell you right now, 15 minutes, just get us in touch. 15 minutes. Look, all I want you to do is commit to 15. You don't have to commit to counseling. I don't need you to commit to doing the program. All I want you to do is give me 15 minutes so I can give you respect, that you've made a change, even in acknowledging that it's a possibility. And if these people don't bring the stuff to the table that make you say, you know what, I do need this for my life, then, that's a whole different conversation. But all you're asking them to do is commit to a 15-minute conversation. You can sign up for that right on couplesacademy.org.
Yeah, there is definitely a need for a reframing of what respect is and a conversation between the two of you all, so you can talk about your expectations for respect as well. And as Jeff mentioned, a lot of men, they come to the table believing that respect is exactly what you described there. And one of the things that the conversation that Jeff Hassani and I does is we'll ask him, how is your definition of respect working for you now? What are the results that you're getting? Right. What is your wife's experience with you when it comes to this respect that you're demanding? And so being able to confront and have those conversations with men in regards to that oftentimes gets them to open up and recognize, you know what, maybe I do need to see some things different, and maybe my perspective is skewed on that.
Absolutely. I agree with everything that you guys have said. And I do want to confirm for you, just like Jeff said, He's absolutely right. And even biblically, wives, we are commanded to respect our husbands, but our husbands are also commanded to love us. And if he is not loving you, it's going to be difficult for you to respect him, and vice versa. So I 100% agree with what you guys are saying. And hopefully he will reach out and get some support. But at the end of the day, you do need to set boundaries, sis, and make sure that you're clear about what it is that you want and need in a relationship as well.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have here?
I just like the fact that Gonzalez said Jeff truly holds us accountable as well as our brothers. True accountability and authentic tough love.
Listen, let me chime in. I am a part of Foundry right now, and I am getting again a firsthand taste of the experience that these men are going through. It is not a joke. We just finished with our second meeting and fulfilled our first week. We are getting into our book reading, and listen, I had one night with the first required reading. Second now. The first one was, of course, another book, but with that book of 50. I'm telling you, like, if you are a man and you are listening and you are struggling with what the results that you have been getting in life, or you are a spouse and your husband is having some challenges, please make sure that they get that phone call, because some of the things that you're looking at seeing that you saw from your husband as it relates to potential when you were dating. Because that's what I'm recognizing, even in my marriage, is that my wife is now seeing that these were the things that I was seeing, that I saw in you from the beginning. Now being able to reap the benefits and the fruit of that potential, in transforming potential into production. Because unless potential is turned into production, then it's all for naught. Foundry is the way to get there. I'm telling you.
Oh, I see this one. I'm Shalice's husband. I'm Jeff. Eugene, I knew it was you. I knew it was you. Me and Eugene have been going back and forth and putting in that work. Yeah. Like, we go at each other's throats, but it's all positive. It's in love. And, Shalice, I've been seeing you on here for months and months and months and months. He's in my hands now. And I'm going to tell you, I have to give Eugene props, because the work he put in this morning, when I challenged him, I came at him hard. Like,
good pushback.
It was positive, but like, I threw a hard punch, and that a lot of men would have buckled. And he took it, he thought about it, he reframed it, and then he came back and challenged me on it with the right perspective, and I had to acknowledge him for it. So I want you to know, Shalice, he's doing the work. I have real high hopes for him, and I thought me and him were going to butt heads, just so you know.
I'm loving this. He said, I'm not going to continue to let my wife down. That's why I'm here. That's right. That's right.
Brother. That's right. Let's see.
I don't think we have any more questions. Someone did want to know how to submit questions. And I'm not sure if they're asking, is it through the chat, or are they asking if there's a way to submit them outside of the chat? Like, are you saying that you want to be anonymous when you submit your question? I'm not sure, but most people, they do submit their questions right here through the chat.
So yeah, you do it right on if you're in Facebook and watching on Facebook, you do it right in the commentary.
They're saying yes, to submit them outside. So
you would have to text us, or you'd have to send it to us in email, and we would cover it on a different show. Mm-hmm. That's the easiest way. Okay. What else we got? We only stay if you got questions.
Yeah, so we have one. It says, I told my husband that I wanted to get the help we needed before I can be involved with or have the affair baby around. So there's a baby involved, and I don't want to meet the mother of the child. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong for not wanting to meet the mother of the child. You're not wrong, but you are going to have to get to a place where you guys are able to communicate and coexist, because the reality is that person is going to be in your collective lives for quite some time. You said a baby, so at least until they are 18 years old. So I do understand wanting to get the help that you need. Yes, what you're saying is, I want to get our foundation strong. I want to work on our marital issues. I want to do that. before you continue to be involved with the baby. But again, it needs to kind of happen simultaneously because the baby's there, the baby has needs, the baby needs mom and dad. And factually, you're the bonus mom. Spark the grill. I'm assuming, yeah, you said your husband. You're the bonus mom. So definitely you're going to have to do your individual work. Husband does his, you do your marital work, but then you guys also are going to have to find a way to communicate and get along for the sake of that child.
Yep. And then at the same time, you're looking at a situation where you're being aware that you don't have the tools necessary to create the boundaries, the systems, the governance of how this is going to happen. And that actually has to happen between you and your husband. You're going to have to set up a government of rules, of boundaries, of a system of how these interactions are going to work. Meet in a public place, exchange the baby, blah, 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 blah. There's going to be all these things that have to be agreed upon between the two of you. You get that at Last Chance Weekend. You do get that in the counseling sessions. There's a bunch of ways of going about that. But at the end of the day, that needs to be established. The boundaries, how things interact. Yeah, and you have to be in a place that you're ready to actually talk about those things as well. So
all right. So Jeff, last question, and it actually was already answered, but I want to give you a caveat to chime in too. So Amanda asked, any good books for men to read if we can't afford Foundry? And of course, our lovely Rachel, as a part of our team, already responded with, there's a recommended reading list in the Couples Academy app, which is a reminder to please make sure that you download the app onto your phone. It's a great resource. But Jeff, without giving away our reading list and protecting the integrity of Foundry, any books that you recommend for?
Absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of books on there, so it's different. So we deal with spiritual, emotional, physical, and financial quadrants. The spiritual is just an identity thing. It's like figuring out who you are. So a lot of times you're trying to deal with these emotional things where he's responding to your emotional needs, but he needs to work on developing his surety and certainty in who he is as a person. So for that, there's a few books. One is called the 5 a.m. Club. One is called Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. There are several more, but those are two that I think of right away. And if you're trying to look at like if you've got past the pain and hurt and you got more of a sure, confident husband, there's one that can help husbands respond to spouses in a much better way and learn the techniques. Once again, they may not be ready for that if they haven't figured out who they are yet, but it's called What Radical Husbands Do. I'm going to tell you one of the best books that you could read together, though, because Foundry is mostly geared towards men. Unearthed is geared towards women. But the book that you can read together, The Audacity of Marriage by Hassani Pettiford. All right.
Hey, Jeff, I said that was the last question, but I got to get this one in. And I also want to plug. Ryan says that she and her husband have been married for 8 months. My husband doesn't lead as I would have hoped. He's very passive and is good at following. However, I would like to be led. Any advice? Now, Ryan, the first thing that I would say is that if you missed the Couples Academy show conversation yesterday with Hassani and Jeff talking about husbands that continue to disappoint their wives, please make sure that you go back and watch it and make a recommendation for you and your husband to watch it together. And also, before Jeff chimes in, I want to say that this is a great opportunity to positively influence and encourage your husband. If you have your husband's heart, like there are things that you can do, just like when you want something from your husband and you know exactly what buttons to push to get that from him. This is the same thing when it comes to leadership. Identifying those areas in which he has shown himself as being adept, and then using that as a way to encourage that leadership. And then the last thing is, you said your husband doesn't lead as you would have hoped. So identifying what are those expectations. And so, you all partnering together and figuring out and identifying exactly what that is, because there may be some expectations that you have had that have not been communicated or potentially may be unrealistic for where he is right now. So
it also sounds like your husband's an introvert. And I want you to understand that we like to throw these labels and these symbols on people. But the truth of the matter is there's the healthiest version of an introvert, and then there's the weaker side of that. And healthy introverts don't look like introverts at all. They don't look like introverts. And you can shift it towards a more extroverted exterior where that leadership that you're talking about, he's more pronounced and more vocal and not dodging and hiding because he gets drained energy wise, or he has fears that are deep seated. And so that is one of the things that Foundry is all about. Like, hey, listen, like, I know some people say that they can't afford Foundry. We do have a payment program, and in extreme situations that, you know, we need to talk to you, but like, give us a call, because there are things that work out. You know, it's like, I got a lot of pull in this program. You know what I mean? So like, reach out and talk to us, because where there's a will, there's a way. All right. So definitely reach out. I would definitely have your husband reach out. Just like I said, 15-minute call, and I'm gonna call him out. Was he scared of me? Scared of me? You scared to have a conversation with me over the phone? Like, I'm not that much of a threat.
All right. I think that's it, Jeff. What you think?
Yeah, I think we gotta cut it. Listen, we're gonna take all anything else that you guys have said, and try to carry those out. I'll be on a little bit more next week, because I'm going down to Georgia, so to be with Asani and help with Last Chance Weekend. So if you guys want to get in on Last Chance Weekend, and if you want your husband to kind of, you know, put him on the phone, we got a couple of slots open. We're ready. So I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Walter, do you have any closing words?
No, not at all. Thank you all for joining us. Don't forget about the Couples Academy show coming up on Monday at 9:30. Be sure to tune in. Also, don't forget to download the Couples Academy app for everything, the latest and greatest on the Couples Academy, right there at your fingertips on your mobile device.
Here we go.